Why are so many people attracted to narcissists? That is the big question for today. And I can't promise you I'm going to have a definitive answer. However, I'm going to give it a shot. A lot of people say we're attracted to narcissists, or at least put up with them because we were raised amongst them. And I don't think this is entirely untrue. I think this is very reasonable. And I've seen a lot of evidence, at least statistical evidence, to make it seem like this is true. I'm not exactly sure why this is true, but statistically I can see that people with narcissistic parents or siblings or relatives or teachers tends to have narcissistic partners later in life. Although I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure of the causation, I do believe there is a correlation. One of my theories about the causation and how it might cause you to choose a narcissistic partner is, I think a lot of times narcissists perform or display certain behaviors that are meant to hook you in. And they do behaviors that are generally considered to be pleasant, like they love bomb you, they're confident. Sometimes they can be really objective and logical, and like their sociopathy can sometimes lead them to be unempathetic, but it can lead them to be very removed from social influence, so they can often be very objective and factual people. And that can definitely be a breath of fresh air when you're dealing with people that don't make any sense. Of course, I'm not saying it lasts with the narcissist. They often start to make no sense later on. And that's partially why we fall for what they say, because they're so logical in the beginning. But, you know, narcissists do all this positive behavior. You know, it's like a candy company giving out candy. It tastes really sweet, it's really delicious, but it's unhealthy for your body. So, you know, you get hooked though because of the sweet flavor. And, you know, you keep eating sweets and junk food, and somebody's going to ask you, why you keep eating that junk food? I think you just love food that makes you sick. Now, yeah, that's technically true, but you're not attracted to the sickness, you're attracted to the sweetness. I'm not attracted to a narcissist because I want to get abused. In fact, it blindsides me every time. I'm attracted to a narcissist because narcissists usually make themselves attractive. Surprise, surprise. If I make myself attractive to you, you're going to be attracted to me. It's not rocket science. And if I end up mistreating you later on, that's not your fault, that's my fault, because I took advantage of the fact that you didn't know what I was like, and of the fact that I drew you in by promising you something you want or need. Now, a lot of times a person may not necessarily be attracted to a narcissist. They may just not be able to get away once the person reveals themselves to be a narcissist, because they aren't aware that that's what the person is. If they're still not sure that, let's say they grew up with a narcissist and the narcissist told them all kinds of things that weren't true, but let's say that they don't realize that this isn't true. Let's say you grew up under a narcissist that told you that, you know, either directly or indirectly told you that XYZ behavior that they did wasn't proof that they were a bad person, or that there was a reason for it, or there's an excuse for it, or that you deserved it, or, you know, I wouldn't say these things to you or do these things to you unless you were guilty. You know, you don't think that it's bad behavior. You don't think, oh, that even if you find out that your parent or whatever was a narcissist, you don't know that all their behaviors were bad, because a bad person can do both bad and good behaviors. So you don't necessarily realize right away that which behaviors are and aren't inherently problematic, or, you know, proof of that you're dealing with a narcissist. You think, oh, well, this behavior, my narcissist was bad and he did this behavior, but, you know, because of maybe something he told you or something someone else told you, you think that some people who are good could also do this behavior. So every time you're confronted with this behavior in a person, you think, oh, there's a 50-50 chance that this person is either bad or good. This could be a narcissist or this could be a regular person doing this. Because you don't realize that 100% of the people doing this behavior are bad. Because there are a lot of behaviors like gaslighting, telling someone they overanalyze you, freaking out when you ask them a question. You may not realize that these behaviors are only present in unhealthy people. You think that they're present in unhealthy people and healthy people, and that the healthy people just have a good reason for it. Now, okay, maybe that's true of some behaviors, but it does help us to look at the behaviors logically and objectively and find out which ones are pretty much always evidence of a sour character. So that way we don't have to keep guessing. Once we're faced with this behavior, we can say, nope, done, bad person. Because although there are some cases when it's subjective, and because we always want to, especially people who are logical, open-minded, not, always looking at all the facts involved in an issue. A lot of times people like that, and it's a healthy way to be, people like us tends to see the 1%. We don't use Occam's razor correctly. We basically, Occam's razor is this philosophical practice where you razor off the least likely explanations to a situation and you keep the most likely ones. We basically take everything as possible. Maybe not equally possible. For example, if something's only 1% likely to happen, I'm not going to put that on the same level as something that's 88% likely to happen. So if somebody tells me I'm overanalyzing them, there may be a 1% chance that it's, that this person didn't have ill intentions and that this is a good person saying this, but the circumstances are such that, maybe he's misinterpreting things. Maybe he has a different reason for saying this than a narcissist would. Maybe he's just mistaken and he's been misled in his childhood to believe that there's such a thing as overanalyzing, blah, blah, blah. I'll look at that 1% and, I'm not going to say that that person is 50% likely to be a narcissist or an abuser and 50% likely to be a good person. I'm going to look at that and say that he's 90% likely to be a narcissist and 10% likely to be a good person. But I'm still going to look at that 10% and I'm not going to chuck the person. Especially not if it's somebody I have an established friendship with. Why throw away all your friendships because they're potentially bad? Are you going to just throw away any friendship or relationship you have with somebody because there's a whatever percent chance that they're bad or good or whatever, that they're bad, or that they're not good? No, it depends. For me, it's like, it's very subjective. You may have a lower risk tolerance than I do. Maybe you would throw somebody out if there's a 1% chance that they might be a bad person. Maybe I would wait until it was a 60%, So if I hear someone if I hear somebody tell me that I'm overanalyzing them, I'm not necessarily going to look at that and say that person's a bad person because I'm not sure yet that only bad people say this. I know that most people who say this are not healthy, and I know that, it depends on circumstance, but anyway, it's all a matter of what your personal preference is in terms of risk and what your personal level of knowledge is.